Stu, have I ever told you about that time I saw two homeless guys dressed as Santa Claus have a brawl out the front of Central Station?
No, and I'm angry at you for not having done so.
It was upsetting to say the least. They were very intoxicated, two of them. I don't know why they both... When I say dressed as Santa...
Let me ask. Did you see it from the start, or did you walk in?
I walked in
midstream?
I walked in midstream.
Right.
Yeah. When I say dressed as Santa, I reckon they had one Santa outfit spread between the two of them.
Well, maybe that's why they were fighting.
Could be. Now, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, one of them was wearing a kind of shirtless under a kind of Santa velvet jacket almost.
Yeah, makes
and
sense.
a Santa hat. And the other one was in pretty much only Santa shorts. And
Hang on.
yeah.
Traditional Santa
Traditional
shorts.
Australian Santa shorts. And yeah, it was a pretty full-on brawl just at the end of school,
Right.
out the front of Central Station. So,
Yeah.
there were some young kids, man.
Yeah.
Kids who are on the cusp of maybe still believing in Santa. Yeah, it was harrowing.
All right, but once you see a Santa in shorts, you start questioning things, don't you?
Yeah, have you ever seen also that yearly thing in New York, the Santa crawl? I think it might be Santa Day over there.
Right.
That is literally yearly. There are videos of multi-Santa brawl. Yeah, we will stop this and look that up. They're great. Like a group of 40 drunk Santas all punching on. It's great.
They need to, but for the sake of everyone's enjoyment, they need to be fully kitted out. I don't want this half Santa shit.
They go all out in the Santa.
Yeah.
It's not a homeless guy out the front of Central Station.
Right,
This is
okay,
people
all right, thank you.
in a bloody
right.
Santa outfit.
Now, these two guys, how did it resolve? Like, what happened?
Oh, it's probably too hardcore for our viewing audience. One guy bottled the other guy, and then the police showed up with a long neck too. Yeah, it was hectic.
So hang on. He was saving the bottle for if the fight started not going his way. He was holding the bottle back.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. It was one of those kind of less dramatic but more passionate bottlings too, where listen, you'll
Opposed to what?
understand.
The casual bottle.
No. Like a kind of fight style bottling is where you would hold the bottle by its neck,
Yeah.
and then hit them as a kind of downswing.
Yeah.
Whereas a passionate bottling is more of a holding the drink as if you're drinking it and then thrusting it into their face, like
Right.
a forward kind of. Yeah. So it was because I don't think he had. I think he was trying to not bottle the other man, and then it just all got too much, and he did.
Yeah. I've worked in pubs, etc. before.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about your bottling and glassing technique.
Oh yeah.
I've seen someone just shove a glass into someone's face. You're gonna get cuts on your hands.
Absolutely.
Fucking think about what you're doing.
My friend glassed himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was quite funny. He was. We had.
Was he fighting himself over a Santa suit?
We had quite a party, and everyone. It was we were 18, 19, something like that. And everyone had gone to sleep in different kind of various states of disarray in various places, and he had fallen asleep holding a wine glass in a beanbag outside, and woke up with blood all over him and glass, and he came inside. Who bottled me? Who bottled me? He had fallen asleep and bottled himself with the glass.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Who bottled me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. That was me.
Yeah, sorry about that, mate. You were sleeping. Yeah, so on that note...
Hello and welcome to What's the Go? It's the sport podcast that talks about sport.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I was thinking when you said that and the way you pronounced it that we should get into a product line called Warts to Go, and it's a warts off kind of balm.
What's that got to do with what I said?
What's
the go? Sorry.
You know, the name of the podcast.
Sorry.
When said kind of lazily, it sounds like What's to Go.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. What's to go? Isn't that more of a
Takeaway
Uber kind of situation if you want to play to warts?
Yeah. Here we got your Warts to Go.
What a distressing start to the show.
Yeah.
That is.
More distressing than usual.
How are you, Monty? What do you
I'm
got
good.
to fucking... Oh, sorry.
That's all right. We swear on this, don't we?
Yeah, but listen, no, yeah, but
We try not to. Don't start off on that.
What if we want to submit to the Australian Podcast Awards or something? We've got to kind of clean ourselves up and sort ourselves out.
Do they have a no swearing policy?
I think there's something to be said about gratuitous swearing. They probably don't like that. Actually, they probably don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, fuck, it's the modern world. People say shit.
It's the modern world.
Yeah.
Swear your head off. It's the modern world, says Monty.
I've got to, put that on my tombstone. Swear your head off. It's the modern world, Monty.
All right.
How am I, you were saying? Good, mate. I'm enjoying this kind of slow roll into summer. It's getting hot and then it's getting a bit cold again. Then it's getting hot and then it's getting a bit cold again. And we're getting there, which is good.
That's going to mean nothing to our Lithuanian listeners.
Yeah, or our Azerbaijani listeners. Are they in the Northern Hemisphere? I think so.
I think they're busy fighting Armenians at the moment.
I think it's one of those things.
Haven't got much time for a tangential sport podcast.
Yeah, well, maybe it takes them away. I think a lot more of the world is in the Northern Hemisphere than you think.
No, I'm aware that quite a lot of it's in the Northern Hemisphere. I've seen maps and everything.
Yeah, no. I always think, no, that must be in the Southern Hemisphere. It's not in the Southern Hemisphere.
It's not much in the Southern Hemisphere.
Has the world ever toyed with the idea of sporting competitions just per hemisphere?
Has the world ever toyed?
Yeah. Yeah, like Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere after a kind of Olympics for both hemispheres. So, like, we have the Southern Hemisphere Olympics, where we, I assume, pump everyone.
Yeah, sure.
And then we fight the best of the best from the Northern Hemisphere.
I think that would be like those games, when you're playing club sport of some kind as a kid.
Yeah.
Not enough people have turned up on your side, so the other side gives you some players.
Yeah.
And they play completely fairly down the line and don't at all favour their own team.
Especially with snow-related sports, probably. There's less of that in the Southern Hemisphere, I reckon.
Yeah, so it's, what do we got? New Zealand, Australia, South Africa.
Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina. We've got some They're bloody fantastic on the slopes, aren't they?
Yeah, they're known for it. Chile.
Oh, yeah. Well, and some, other,
couple of...
Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Where is the equator in Africa? It's quite near the top.
Yeah, you're getting up near the top.
Yeah. So we'd have a fair whack of Central to Lower Central African nations on our side.
I think we'd have to press for Summer Olympics.
Oh yeah, you'd hope for that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good. I think we should look into this.
Or kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
Why are we going to worry about Olympics?
Is there anything other than the globe that is divided hemispherically? Like, is there a UN of the Southern Hemisphere? Anything that's hemisphere based?
Where would that be? Mildura.
Yeah, something like that, or like NATO, but only the Northern Hemisphere. Well,
hang on. Well, counterbalance. We do need a NATO in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Base it out of Port Moresby.
Yeah.
Is that in the Southern Hemisphere?
Well, yeah, no, it's in the Southern Hemisphere, but it's perfect. It's the whole town's called a port.
There you go.
Use it for what it's called.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
I think we should
let's get on this.
I think, any of you hemispheric freaks out there, get onto us. Let us know.
Let me cast my eyes across my run list of sport things we have to talk about, Monty.
Tangential, remember, tangential.
There's a kid yelling. Is it in trouble?
How'd he get in the studio? It's a lie. The studio's just my house. I'm
concerned the birds are eerily quiet today.
Yeah, they're up to something.
Attacking children, I suppose.
I've been getting some weird bird stuff going on lately. I think
have you had another avian week, have you?
A bit avian, yeah. I had some cockatoos go a bit balmy at me yesterday.
Yeah, go on.
I think I stumbled upon something they didn't want me to see. And they all kind of like started squawking and then took up positions on either side of the road on the electricity wires,
right,
and kind of like watched me through.
Drug deal, you reckon?
I don't know what was going on. Yeah, it felt like that scene out of the beginning of No Country for Old Men. Have you ever seen I think it's buzzards, or what are the ones that eat you when you're dead?
Vultures?
Yeah, have you ever seen them walk around a dead friend of theirs in a circle?
No.
Pretty weird.
All right. So after this, things I've got to look up to watch are multi-man Santa brawls
Multi-man Santa brawls.
and circling vultures.
Circling vultures, that one's weird. And the other weird avian thing, sorry to stay on the tangent, I saw a bush turkey flying and he flew up into the top of a tree and I'd never seen that and it blew my mind.
Yeah, bush turkeys fly, mate. They got wings and everything.
Why do they walk more? Do they prefer to walk?
Well, because usually they're pretty chunky, so it's probably a bit of effort to fly.
Yeah, that's probably right.
And you know, they like to fossick around on the ground. So why would you fly when all your food's kind of down low?
So why do they fly? Just to get to other low areas for eating.
You might have exhausted all your ground food options in one spot.
Your fossicking's up.
Well, I had one in my backyard the other day, and it had to come from over the fence. So, you know.
Of course it did. He didn't walk. He didn't knock on your door.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, good point. All right. Sorry, that was my bird stuff.
No, that's okay. How do we get there? Oh, yeah, a child yelled.
A child yelled.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
Of course.
It's grand final week in the Aussie footy codes.
And doesn't it just not feel like it?
Absolutely, it feels like not much at all.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, usually grand final 2 weeks, I'm pretty pumped. Especially the, AFL grand final week.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a grand final? Either code?
You know, I don't think... I've never been to either grand final. I've been to semis, but never the big one.
Yeah, the big grand. I think I've been to one NRL grand final when I was a wee tacker.
Yeah.
And I've been to 2 losing Swans AFL finals.
Yeah.
A bit shit, but... Yeah, no, and what a week, man. Usually it's great, especially in Victoria for the AFL. Everyone gets pumped up. Less so here in Sydney for the, week of.
Yeah, but that's kind of what begs my question. Like, it feels very unlike a grand final week at the moment.
Absolutely.
But what's different?
Yeah, good point.
Like, I know it's COVID, etc., but what am I doing different that's making me feel less grand final-y?
I hate to say it, but maybe it's just our culture thing, but I think your grand final week is the biggest if your team's in it, and if it's not in NRL, it's not that big of a week.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the AFL, at least Victoria, I've been there for a week leading up, and the city's pumping. It's kicking off.
It's fair call. Yeah, so we got Panthers Storm in the NRL, Richmond Geelong in the AFL, and I think it's pretty cool because Geelong's kind of like the Panthers of the AFL, I reckon.
Because they're the Cats.
Because they're...
It was Richmond's Cats too.
Westy
Out of the 4
Bogans,
teams, 3 are feline. Is that something?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean they're like that?
Well, I answered
What the
you, but you
fuck
talked
mean?
over the
No,
top of me.
Just because they're cats?
No, the Westy Bogans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Geelong is definitely Westy Bogans.
Oh, what do you mean kind of? So Penrith's not?
No, Penrith are. Penrith definitely are.
All right. Obviously, the Dally M's and the Brownlows. I'm just moving on from that. Dally M's and the Brownlows happened with a big munt up in the Dally M's with the old Murdoch bloody press, the Daily Telegraph, releasing the results like...
How early was it? Was it just...
Pretty sure it was just prior to ceremony.
Could you bet on it still?
Oh, it depends how quick on the
uptake
the old betting companies were, I guess.
Yeah. Well, surely if you can bet on it, which I think you can...
They would scratch it, sure.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Or surely no one should be able to have the results before it's announced.
Well, Buzz Rothfield would have had him beforehand so he could write his article so he's not staying up late and needing to write.
Yeah, okay.
He's got to work during the day. All right.
Yeah, so big stuff up. Other than that, did you pick anything out of the Dally M's this year? Anything get you?
It just seemed to be some weird, it's almost like everyone was over it by the last few rounds and just weird-ass scoring going on.
Yeah, didn't they not give Teddy a point for a game in which he gave 4 try assists? That's
not good enough.
That's a bit kind of like, what do
Teddy.
you want, man? Like, yeah, jeez.
Whiten got 3 points just for coming on and falling over and farting.
Do you think Whiten should have got it?
Look, whenever I've seen him, he's played very well.
Is it him or the team, though?
No, him.
Him? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He runs hard. I think it's so unusual to see people consistently running hard.
Yeah.
But when someone does it, you go, bloody Nora, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, give him a Dally M.
Yeah.
And who was it? Lockie Neal in the Brownlow. I saw one funny thing, which was I think it was the Fremantle team, maybe. But either way, did you see it? Because you were only allowed to have, I think, 4 players from each team per table,
right?
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
And it seemed someone had pointed this out on Twitter as if the 4 people from, I think it was Fremantle, didn't know each other. They really looked like they were struggling for conversation, and like they only knew each other because their girlfriends knew each other. It was that kind of look.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's this? Why is Ash Barty going to present the Tigers the cup if they win? Do you know anything about that?
Look, I know
she bloody loves them.
Yeah, she loves them, and then apparently she's famous enough that I think you as a team must get to, as the club, you get to pick who gives you the...
Oh, I see.
Yeah, which is interesting.
All right.
Who would you pick?
Daryl Summers.
Daryl Summers to give it to you?
Yeah.
I thought about that, or I was thinking the captain of the other team. Like... or something like that. Like if you could really rub it into someone or something like that, that could be good. No.
Like Mark Jacko Jackson.
Yeah, that's what you want.
You get everyone fired up.
Yeah, he would fire everyone up. Maybe keep the cup himself. So, no, I think it's fun, whatever. But surely, if they do win, no one's going to remember that, right? Like they're just, as soon as she passes it to Jack Rewald, it's going to be up in the air, right?
Oh, I suppose so. Yeah. Well, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of grand finals, how about them Vixens? Melbourne win the netball championship.
Yeah, I saw this as a headline.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Well,
I like watching netball.
Yeah, I do too. I wish I made more time to do more of it.
They're quite vicious. They're quite elbowy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, quite heavy on the elbow.
I have a friend who is an umpire in that competition, and just the kind of effort and training and
in that competition, the professional one.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And the mental stamina required to just maintain at that level for an umpire.
I played it once for a season.
At that level?
No, not at that level.
Oh, okay.
And I hated it. I thought it was the worst thing I've ever done. I really hated it.
Really?
And the thing I hated most was the referees. They were horrible.
Yeah.
I had never played the game before, and I was trying, and they didn't like me trying. That was the thing. That sport seems to punish you for trying.
Yeah, I can actually concur with that because whenever I tried to play mixed netball,
I played mixed netball too.
I would get roused on because I played league, and I had a pretty good passing game on me, so I would fire off really sharp rugby league style passes to people playing netball.
It's great.
It got the ball on their chest.
Love it.
Really sharp.
Great.
But because I didn't throw it in the way that they're meant to throw it,
but that shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't matter. You got the ball on your chest. What do you want?
Yeah, I got in troubles for going up too high for the ball, like jumping up in the air and hitting someone on the way down.
I thought you meant a high shot.
Oh, they didn't like that either. No, I didn't like it. Didn't like it one bit.
Oh, okay. I like it, but just let me pass how I want to pass. You'll get the ball. Don't worry how it looks. Surely
that's fine, right? You can pass however you want.
Yeah, I would have thought so. But
I threw it overhand a lot too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they didn't like that either.
So well done, Vixens.
Yeah,
I think is
good
what
work,
we're trying
Vixens.
to say.
Yeah, you guys are better than us at this sport.
Australians rugby revival lasts a week.
Yeah.
Wallabies get absolutely pumped at Eden Park by the All Blacks.
Look, there were some moments of looking decent in the first half.
Yeah.
And then it was back to the same old Eden Park stuff in the second. Eden Park, man, I think it was 86 I saw them say was the last time we won there.
Yeah.
That's,
Look, the Wallabies did their job. They played well right before some broadcast negotiations.
Yeah, there you go. That's all we needed.
That's all we needed out of them. They can go back to being shit for 20 years.
Yeah, I used to really enjoy rugby union when, Gregan days and kind of like late 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's fallen off a bit, I think. Just for me, at least. I don't like it as much as I used to. I don't know why that is. It doesn't seem as free-flowing as it used to.
No.
I liked the kicking games. And
and also the characters.
Characters is a big part of it.
Yeah, you like your Nick Farr-Joneses, your Campos. Your, like you say, your Greeks.
John Eales.
Yeah. Who's that bloody enormous bloke with the...
Jonah Lomu?
Big Jonah Lomu, yeah. Richard Lowe,
Richard Lowe, no.
dirtiest bastard to ever play sports.
Nice, wow.
No, I'm thinking of, maybe it's more recent, who's the big freaky looking bald wallaby bloke? What's going on with the emails here?
We're getting emails, I think, is what's going on. Relax on that. Freaky,
Also, did you notice that as soon as I said there's no birds, a bird started fucking squawking?
They know. Freaky big bald guy.
Oh, Nathan
Sharp.
Yeah,
Nathan Freaky Sharp. Yeah. Old Freaky.
Well, that's not nice.
Was that his nickname, Old Freaky?
Are you going to say that to his face, mate?
I don't know. Actually, no.
Bathurst happened?
Yeah. Do you watch any of it?
No, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
I'd like to go to Bathurst one week.
Why? To drink?
Well, not just to Bathurst. I'd like to go to the race. I mean, yes, to drink. Yeah, it seems like Bogan.
Just drink here.
Like Bogan Woodstock.
Just drink here.
I've done that. I know what that's like. Apparently, it's quite the scene.
All right.
Camping on the hill.
If you're going to Bathurst and you want to drink, why don't you just get like a slab, go down the river with a pan, do a bit of prospecting.
Bit of prospecting.
Yeah,
that sounds all right.
And you might come away with more than you do if you go watch a bloody car go round and round on a road.
Isn't there that thing still that you have like a limit of how much booze you can take per day, and it's something like a case and a bottle of hard liquor per person per day?
It was probably 5 to 10 years ago. I think it's less than that now. But that's when you had people going up in
hiding
the weekends before, burying booze on the mountain. That's fantastic.
It's bloody awesome. Yeah. I've heard that there's some facility nearby too where all the confiscated booze is stored.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a heist movie in that, isn't there?
Well, it would be called
Taking Bathurst.
Takeaway Mountain.
Takeaway Mountain's good.
Look, I've got a couple of other headlines just to finish off this section with. Keanu Reeves enjoys nice weekend with his girlfriend. I saw that on the news.com.au website.
Keanu Reeves, you say?
Keanu Reeves.
Has he ever been in a
nice weekend with his girlfriend? Was the headline, Monty?
Has he been in a sports movie? How is there a tangent to get us back in?
I'm just telling you that the headline was Keanu Reeves enjoys nice weekend with his girlfriend. That was a headline of an article.
Keanu Reeves seems like quite a nice fellow.
A tragic figure of some sort.
Yeah, like a tragic clown for the world, but also an action movie guy.
There's a lot of photos of him looking sad on public transport.
Sad Keanu, yeah.
Fuck, there's a lot of differing headlines here. Let me get from this weekend. They had a bloody good weekend by the looks of things.
Go on.
Here we go. Keanu Reeves still hanging out with girlfriend Alexandra Grant in Berlin as The Matrix 4 films. Keanu Reeves kisses Alexandra Grant as he heads to work on The Matrix 4.
Well, we've moved on. It's escalating.
Keanu Reeves shares a sweet kiss with girlfriend Alexandra Grant in Berlin. These are all headlines to fully written articles.
Wow. Matrix 4, you say?
Oh, yeah. What do you think that's going to be like? Jesus.
I don't know. I hope Monica Bellucci's in it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. And I hope those weird albino dreads twins are not in it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, what happened there? Wasn't that like an example of one of those trilogy of movies where the first one was brilliant and then it just fell right apart?
Look, yeah, I think if they'd combined maybe 2 and 3 into one movie, one cracker, that, you could have had a less
that's fair.
Kind of random dance parties underground.
Yeah, a lot of that Zion stuff.
Yeah,
it was
a bit less Zion. Yeah,
less Zion.
We get it. It's a place where everyone lives. We don't need to.
Yeah, I did like that. Maybe in the second one was that real cool kung fu fight where he fought with the stick.
Yeah,
is that the second one? I think that might have been the second one. That was pretty cool. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So just if we can get 2 hours of stick.
Yeah, stick fighting.
Work.
No Zion, stick fighting. Monica Bellucci. Bam, there's your film.
There we go. All right. So I just thought I'd let everyone know about Keanu Reeves enjoying a nice weekend with his girlfriend.
It feels like you're trying to send a message to someone.
Another quick headline here. Bella's turning her back on men. So that's from the Adelaide Advertiser. Bachelor runner-up Bella has sworn off men after her painful experience on the dating show. Thoughts, Monty?
Is this
Bella's
really
turning her back on men, Monty?
Is that relevant to be a headline?
Well, not only is it a headline, there's an article following it.
Right, well, I can do this too. You want some headlines? I got some headlines.
It wasn't intended to be a war. I'm after your thoughts on these important stories.
You've started something, because I found a good one too before. Here's one: Dad jailed for sex with family chickens. How do you like that one?
How do I like it? I don't like it at all.
Why would you need to say they were family chickens?
Well,
any chickens is bad.
I think you meant to. I think because they've grown up with these chickens, maybe, so they're there's a more of an emotional attachment than a random chicken that might have walked past their house,
which is still unforgivable, but less of an issue.
It's just an extra layer, Monty.
Not little Squeaky. I know him. Here's another article from the same great news outlet: 4 tricks to finding the perfect white tea.
Oh, okay.
That's below the dad having sex with the chicken. These are back-to-back headlines.
All right. This is how my mind worked. With 4 tricks, as in, for hookers? Prostitute clients.
That's when you hear tricks that you're immediately thinking hookers, not just tricks.
You just read a story about fucking a chicken.
That's true.
That's where my mind was. And then perfect tea, like golf tea. So... there's if 4 blokes fucking a prostitute have the best chance of finding a good tea.
That's pretty hectic.
Yeah. We should probably go to a break rather than trying to one up each other with stupid fucking headlines.
Yeah, my dad actually gave me a good stupid headline on the weekend. I can't remember it exactly, but it was there was a robbery, and in the suburb over, they found the alleged car. And Dad was like, "It is a car." It's like, you can see it's a car. I don't know why they're saying it's an alleged car.
They're writing the story, the lawyers in the background. You just wrote this was a car.
Yeah,
there's no proof of that.
Could be a motorbike. Yeah, exactly. On that note,
break. Great moments in Melbourne Cup history.
Famously, Mark Twain witnessed the running of the 1895 Melbourne Cup won by Aurora. Twain was arguably one of the most famous people in the world at the time, and he was treated like royalty on his tour of Australia. His visit to the Melbourne Cup was his highlight of the trip, Twain noting, "The champagne flows, everybody is vivacious, excited, happy, Cup Day is supreme, it has no rival." Twain's family and friends say that the experience had a huge effect on the man, known as the father of American literature. Twain's literary output declined sharply after his trip to Australia, which most experts put down to coincidence, but those close to Twain do not. One of the few books Twain released after his visit to Flemington was A Horse's Tale, which was written in the voice of Soldier Boy, who was Buffalo Bill's favourite horse. What a lot of people don't know is that the Melbourne Cup experience had so jarred Twain that he couldn't write in anything but a horse's perspective from that point on. Canny readers noticed that in the 1896 novel Tom Sawyer, Detective, that the titular character tended to eat a lot of oats and complained about sore fetlocks more than in previous incarnations. And the writing of The Mysterious Stranger, the incomplete novel that was the last that Twain worked on, kept getting stalled as a result of the narrative flow being broken by Twain's insistence that the main character stop to be reshod every couple of pages.
Okay, well, we've rambled on for quite a while already, so let's try and just rip through the next bit at a reasonable pace without, talking about fucking chickens or anything, or Keanu Reeves having a nice weekend with his girlfriend.
That was you.
Yeah. I wasn't... Yeah, I'm talking about us collectively.
The collective us. I've got an article here I'd like to read you. It's about the Panthers number 9, Appy Coruscant. Panthers number 9 didn't watch the Storm prelim, and there's a tactical reason why.
I bet there is.
This was Darcy McDonald wrote this.
All right. Am I going to
be
really annoyed by Darcy?
No, I reckon Darcy's done all right. I think it's
so
just
it's not
an
the writing,
story.
it's the subject.
I think it's the subject that we'll be intrigued by. Appy Coruscant didn't watch last Friday's Storm Raiders preliminary final. Instead, he binged Mr. Robot, an American drama series.
Okay, well, yeah, all right.
Have you seen Mr. Robot?
I've seen a few episodes.
Any rugby league?
Not large amounts, but like I said, only a few. It's
bit of
probably
rugby
building up to it.
Building up to the rugby league?
Yeah.
Is that the point? The robot's going to play rugby league?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't stress, though, Panthers fans. It's nothing out of the ordinary for the 27-year-old. That stresses me more as a Panthers fan. Coruscant has never been an avid footy watcher. Not because he isn't interested, but as a tactic that's turned him into the most instinctive number 9 in the game. Instinctive because he doesn't know what's going to happen.
That's hearsay.
Yeah, that good, like an alleged car.
Yeah, it is. Not watching football doesn't automatically translate to having instincts of gold.
Cause and effect is what you go. He doesn't watch football, plays good footy. Bam, that's the reason.
Okay.
I figured it out pretty early on, Coruscant told Fox
Can I just
Sports.
say, though, if we're going to be scientific about this, we need to get him to watch a bit of football and see if he plays any better.
Well, I hear they did that once. He was terrible.
Because he was trying to rewind the play on the field. Is that what's happening?
Kept having breaks for 30 seconds at a time.
Stopped and ate a burger and went do-do-do-do-do.
I never watched footy growing up, and then when I did try and watch footy and study teams, that just clouded me a little bit. I don't want to get caught thinking they're going to do other things because I've been watching them.
So it's just
they don't know you've been watching them either. They're going to do they're going to do whatever they're going to do.
But also, this just sounds like he's baffled by possibility.
Yeah.
And just befuddling himself with maybe this will happen, maybe that'll happen.
So I think what he thinks is that history always repeats itself. So if they passed it to the left when that guy was running that way, there's no option that they won't. So if he doesn't know that, it's fine. He can work it out.
He's got the world's worst sufferer of deja vu.
Wow, I like that.
And so,
chronic deja vu.
Let's say Cam Smith feigns to the left and passes right. He stops in his tracks and goes, I've seen this before.
And
I've seen this before somewhere.
And the game's passed him by.
He's just gone, yeah.
It's always good to be prepared, so I do concentrate during video. But at the same time, I take a pretty fresh approach when I go onto the field.
So, sorry, video. So he is watching the games.
So he's watching the games. He just doesn't watch the Channel 9 coverage of the games.
Well, that's understandable.
I worry about what we're going to do.
Can
that's
I just...
all right. Yeah, of course you can.
Do you know I cannot watch the 9 games with Rabs commentating now without thinking about him eating his Devon sandwiches?
We got told by Gus when he eats them. It's half-time or is it end of the game?
Half-time. But I'm just sitting there going, okay, so, we're 10 minutes into a match. Do you reckon Rabs is calling but just keeps looking at the clock?
Where do you reckon he keeps the sandwich?
Let's go to a break. And he goes to field. It's only 20 minutes till Devon time.
Yeah, nice. Do you reckon he keeps it at hand during the game?
Oh, fuck yeah. He wants to see him.
Yeah, ready.
That probably should be in a fridge. But I don't think he's keeping.
I don't think Devon needs to be in a fridge.
He's probably got an esky. What am I talking about?
Yeah, he strikes me as the kind of bloke with a little esky that he brings to work.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, mate.
Don't be sorry. This is how this show works. It's always good to be prepared, so I do concentrate during video. Once again, he said he didn't watch it before.
Games, mate.
But at the same time, I take a pretty fresh approach when I go onto the field. I worry about what we're going to do and how we're going to play.
Okay, so is that not his job?
Yeah, you mean you think about what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, just having a vague semblance of seeing...
I don't think anyone's explained that that's what he's meant to do to him.
It gets better. It's a unique approach.
To think about what you're going to do.
He didn't say that. This is just this is the article again.
Right.
And very different to his teammate Nathan Cleary, who is known for studying the game.
And known for never thinking about what to do.
And, I don't think Appy Coruscant or Cleary are that much better than either one of them. They're both pretty decent.
Yeah.
So is that our test subject?
But I think they have very different styles as well. So.
Yeah, one looks like he's watched a game of footy before. One looks like he's just worried about what we're going to do out there.
I don't understand why you'd make a big point about not watching games when it's clearly part of your training during the week to watch videos of games.
I think it's like you've got a set amount of hours you've got to watch games, right? Like this is video time. Coruscant knows exactly what works for him. That also includes meditation. Coruscant has found an appreciation for meditating after initially learning back at the Rabbitohs in 2014. He didn't stick with it then, but 6 years later he's thrown himself into it, and the results speak for themselves. Many have dubbed him the Buy of the Year for the way he's helped transform Penrith's attack, and his impact has carried over to off the field too, with teammate Liam Martin revealing a week ago that he took up meditation after seeing what it's done to the star hooker's game. You reckon Appy's saying to Liam, look mate, the key is don't watch the game, think about what you're going to do when you go out there, worry about that, and meditate. We meditated a fair bit back in 2014.
A fair bit? What does that mean?
So who was he playing for? 2014 would have been Rabbits?
Oh, I guess so. I don't know.
I wonder if they did any good. Did they good? I think they might have won that year.
They won that year?
Yeah, they won that year. Well, it must have done great.
So, okay.
Why'd you stop meditating?
Yeah.
I was actually pretty proud when Liam said he was doing the same thing. He was not lost, but just didn't know what to do before games because he was bouncing around with heaps of energy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Meditation is as far as Coruscant will do, though, when it comes to pre-game routines. He says a champion fighter inspired him to drop any ritual or superstition, something he's pretty proud of.
Right.
Conor McGregor,
Okay, all right, yeah, go on.
once said people use rituals as excuses when it doesn't go right, Coruscant said.
Okay, has he got a little daily inspiration calendar of
From
Conor McGregor quotes?
Fuck off. Something like that.
Drink me piss.
Yeah. Hey, drink that whiskey I make. That's not
I don't know what happened.
weird calendar, yeah.
Drink me piss.
Yeah, drink me piss. Once he said that, I just dropped everything. Okay.
All right.
I've been pretty proud of that as well, because that then puts more of an emphasis on me meditating. But isn't this now your thing?
Can I ask a question? What's the point of this?
This article is telling us, I don't know, it's a meandering article. It told us at the start he doesn't watch footy and
But
he
he does.
meditates. He does watch footy and he meditates.
Yeah, and he meditated in 2014, did really well, stopped meditating, but now he's thinking it might be a good idea to meditate more.
Also, doesn't like pre-game rituals, but has a pre-game ritual of meditating. It doesn't matter what happens that day, what I eat or what I drink, meditation just brings me back to the present and I go from there. The Panthers will make their first grand final appearance in 17 years on Sunday. It's fair to say they probably wouldn't have had the hugely successful season, including 17 straight wins, that they've had if Coruscant joined the Bulldogs like he was meant to. Bulldogs were in the box seat to land Coruscant's signature after he squeezed out on Manly. But then the Panthers came to the table with the trump card, the coaching combination of Ivan Cleary and Trent Barrett.
Okay. Have we got more
I don't think
Coruscant
we've got
talking?
Yeah, I'm just
need.
looking.
Look, with all due respect to Darcy, if there are no more Coruscant contradictory quotes in this article, then I'm not all that interested in hearing the rest of what Darcy's got to say, I'm afraid.
Yeah, there's a good bit at the end here, though. He says, this one, it's weird, referring to the year he's just had.
Oh, the year is weird?
Yeah, the only
Yeah,
emotion...
no shit, Coruscant.
Yeah, it's been a fucking weird one. The only emotion I can feel is happy to go through a whole year with such a young crew. You find that love for football again. Sort of just builds even more, just seeing how these guys love it.
His only emotion for the year is happy.
Has he ever seen him play other than
Has he ever read any news?
Yeah.
Fuck!
He doesn't watch the footy. He's been watching Mr. Robot for the whole year.
Right.
So yeah, that's your boy there.
All right. Well, thank you, Appy. That's baffled me and hurt my head.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I'm Appy.
Nice.
Do they play it at the ground? Surely they should.
They should. Well, why don't we leave off with this? Give me your tips for the weekend. Who's going to win the Granny and who's going to win the other Granny?
Tigers and... They got it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yep. Tigers and Storm. As much as Penrith had a monster year and as much as... it's just all too perfect for them. Yeah. And Storm are the ultimate ruiners.
I'll tell you what, though. I have been saying to you in person and on this podcast.
You just pointed at the microphone, everybody.
I keep saying that Penrith are going to choke, and they haven't yet.
Yeah.
So, we've only got one more chance to choke.
What are you saying?
I'm saying the Cats. I think Geelong will beat Richmond.
All right.
I hope they do anyway, but I think they will. And
let's put a piece of caramel slice on that.
I'm going to tip Melbourne as well, because I completely agree with you. It's just exactly what's going to happen.
It's Cam Smith. You know Cam Smith's retiring.
Yeah.
You know that they all know it.
Everyone knows it.
You just got all these happy, effervescent people who contradict themselves all day long out at Penrith.
I reckon, if they don't win, Penrith, they can blame it on Appy never watching a game of footy.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
And also, having to point out to people that he thinks about what's going to happen
and
next.
Convincing all his teammates to meditate with him before the game instead of doing their pre-game rituals.
All right, let's go.
On that bombshell.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher, and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then, everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans
Obsessives might be the word.
of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
We lived it.
We lived it, we were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.